Welcome to the Heavy Sweater Podcast. My name is John King. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If this is your first time listening, this is the Heavy Sweater Podcast, a deep dive into the beginnings of local Australian musicians and bands of the heavy variety. First off, just want to get my shit out of the way. A massive thank you to everybody that came out to the Bright Side on Thursday night. It was absolutely fucking incredible. Huge thanks to Isolation, Salt Money, Harbour the Code, and Entrapment. Fucking killer show. Legitimately, I'll get into my story one day, eventually, and my time through the scene and everything, but all the hard work that goes into being in a band, like I've spent 3 years building Shokan and finding the right people and writing and recording and late practices and obsessing over this project, and the last 3 years, every single second of that was worth it for those 20 minutes of playing. And yeah, just a huge thank you to anybody that came out and watched us. Huge thanks to all the people that saw us there for the first time or heard about us there for the first time and followed us on social media afterwards. It was fucking sick, and a massive thank you to Isolation for having us. Anyway, enough of my shit. This week's guest is Josh Wessling of Joy in Motion, a killer Brisbane band with their roots heavily in heavy music, especially Josh and Jake. We get into Josh's beginnings in the heavies and his journey through his old band First Sight and how he came to join Joy in Motion. And then we get into his comedy and how that came into his life. Joy in Motion also dropped a sick EP earlier this year called Stardust, so go give it a listen wherever you listen to music if you haven't yet. And with all that being said, it is Wednesday, and you know what that fucking means. I'll tell people what that means one day. If you know, you know. But it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up, G?
How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. Just did a few haircuts at home, and now I'm chilling. Managed to score myself a beer, so fuck yeah.
Killer. Cool, man. Well, we'll just get straight into everything with heavies for you. And what's the first heavy band you remember hearing for the first time?
All right. So if we really go back to what got me into more alternative music, I was raised on my dad's music.
Okay, cool.
Which was AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, and say what you will about bands like AC/DC, they're one of the greatest bands of all time. You know what I mean? I was kind of talking to someone about this earlier, but in reference to Illmatic by Nas. In that, if you said to someone that Illmatic is the greatest rap album of all time, no one would be able to argue with it. Like people might have different opinions, but no one would be able to argue with you. And AC/DC have 5 albums like that.
Okay.
If you said what's the greatest rock album of all time, and you said Highway to Hell, Back in Black, or whatever it is, no one can argue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, that's just facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what sort of got me started. First song I can really remember being my favorite song was "Pretty Fly for a White Guy."
Okay.
By The Offspring.
Sick.
Actually, do you want to see what my first tattoo was, man?
Yes.
I'll show you my first tattoo. 1 second. I'll go take my shirt off. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, fuck yeah. That's so sick. That's a cool 13, man.
Yeah, so I've got a 31 on my shoulder.
Yeah, super cool 13.
Yeah. But then after that, I think I heard "Good Charlotte" in a TV commercial or something like that, and then my parents bought me Chronicles of Life and Death.
Fuck yeah!
That's the first time I can remember a band being my favorite band.
Okay,
so
cool.
Good Charlotte got me started there. But then, if we're getting into the heavies, sorry for the life story.
That's all good, man. That's all good.
If we're getting into the heavies, when I was about 11 years old, 2005, me and my family were on holiday in Byron Bay.
Okay.
And we were watching Channel V. And this is a pretty classic first heavy band for people.
Yeah.
But System of a Down's Chop Suey.
Okay. Fuck yeah.
And me and my brothers were watching this, losing our fucking minds, just going, what is this?
Yeah, sick.
And then my brother ended up buying Toxicity, and the opening song, Prison Song, punched me in the dick. It's just
fuck yeah.
Like it's truly one of the toughest opening songs of any record of all
Fuck
time.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just like that jun 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 jun.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Fuck yeah.
And then from there, we went to our cousin's house a little while later, and she was always into alternative stuff. And we said to her, "Have you heard of this band System of a Down?"
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh yeah." And then she gave us this mix CD, and that mix CD had Parkway Drive, Alexis on Fire, Under Oath, Slipknot, Hawthorne Heights, Seosin, like all these crazy fucking bands that like really have sort of shaped me to this day. Also, shout out to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Hearing Guerrilla Radio for the first time when I was about 8 years old was fucking mind-blowing. So,
fuck yeah. That's sick.
So like a mix of, my dad's music, Good Charlotte, System of a Down, and that mixtape, and Tony Hawk's.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That's sick. That's so cool. Like, just like, it's always been in you to be into heavy music.
Yeah, like I remember the first time I heard, Parkway Drive, like, I think it was Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em.
Yeah.
And, all I could think was, holy shit, I didn't know double kicks existed.
Yeah.
I just assumed the cunt's foot was just...
Yeah, just single kick, just like going crazy.
Yeah. Anytime I've heard anything like really heavy, my first thought hasn't been, oh, that's not for me. It's always been, how can I go further into this?
Fuck yeah.
How deep does this fucking rabbit hole go?
Sick. Fuck yeah. And then like, where does like playing music come into play for you from the mixtape Tony Hawk and fucking cool dad music?
So, I've been playing saxophone for a couple of years before I got into high school. I should whip it out again. I was actually pretty good at it.
Sick.
And then, when I was going into high school, I'd really gotten into, very guitar-based music. Like, Bullet for My Valentine at the time was my favorite band.
Fuck yeah.
And I remember hearing Hand of Blood and thinking... I want to play that.
Yes.
I thought it was the most technical. In hindsight, now that I know how to play it, it's not that technical. It's not even strings. It's not even string skipping. It's just one string. Yeah. Like it's still a fucking killer song.
Yeah,
so I started learning how to play guitar when I was about 12.
Okay.
And so I'm 27 now.
Yeah.
So. I'm still not good.
Same, man. Yeah, definitely.
It fucking sucks. It'd help if I practiced.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah, definitely.
Like that's the difference between someone like me and my little brother. My little brother was, he was in like Outlive and stuff like that. Like, proper metalcore shredding riffs.
Yeah.
And the difference between me and him is when we were teenagers, there wasn't a single moment where a guitar wasn't in his hands.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
Just stick to bass is way more fun.
Yeah,
so much more fun.
Bro.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 notes, brother. 2 notes.
Always.
But first time I played in a band, I would have been 15 years old.
Okay.
And I had this shitty. We called it grindcore.
Yeah,
I don't think it was grindcore.
But you thought it was.
We were called. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We were called. The worst part about it is it had a sick name. This is a great name.
Fuck yeah, cool.
We were called the Sunken Cathedral.
Oh, that's so tough. That's so tough.
Named after the Claude Debussy piano piece, which is often regarded by many people as one of the most beautiful pieces of music ever written.
Yeah.
And we were writing songs about hermaphrodites.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Man,
I don't know why we had like 3 songs about them.
That's crazy.
It was so cooked, bro. Like we would have gotten so cancelled so quickly if it came out today. But that was one of those bands that only existed in 2 places. It existed in the practice room. And how old are you, man?
27.
Okay. So you're the same age as me.
Yeah.
You came up around the time of MySpace.
Yeah.
Right?
I love MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace was the best.
Do you remember the period of time when it was more important for your band to have a MySpace than songs?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
100%.
It was one of those situations.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
We'd all sit around a laptop, record our shitty songs.
Yeah, sick.
Put them up to MySpace, going, this is perfect.
Yeah, we're going to get signed.
Yeah. We legit thought we could get signed.
Yeah, there was like no knowledge at all.
Nah. But yeah, that band never played a show.
I've been there thousands of times.
Yeah. Then after that, 2010, just before I turned 16, I did this thing at the Queensland Conservatorium called like rock school or some shit, which basically they get, you know, a group of kids to come together, make a band, and record a song over the course of a week.
Sick.
And the band I was in, it was with, you know, like 5 other people. 3 of them remained, so it was me, the drummer, and the singer, who incidentally became my girlfriend. Pro tip, don't start bands with your significant others. It's a horrendous idea. It doesn't work, man. It doesn't.
I believe it. Never been there, but I believe it.
Yeah, man. So we were just like, we were a pretty mediocre sort of like pop punk outfit, like, you know, and it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay at best. But it was the first time I'd ever played shows. So, you know, the first show we ever played was in Jim Boomba in this terrible little hall. We played it to 3 of my friends and our parents and my grandparents, and that was our audience.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so, but I mean, like, you know, it was fun just to, you know, get on stage for the first time, you know, at 16 years old, you know, just playing like this terrible show. And then, you know, we went on to play, you know, I think like 4 or 5 more shows before I ended up just going, like, I couldn't handle being in a band with the singer anymore, so I just went, no, I can't do this. Like, you know, nothing against her, she's a lovely person, but again, you know, being in a band with your significant other works horribly, especially after you break up.
Yeah, I believe it.
After that, when I was 17, I went to university and I studied music at JMC. Pro tip, don't study music at university.
Oh, yeah, no. I tried, but I got denied, and it was probably the best thing that could have happened to me.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I realize there's not a single job in the music industry that you need a degree for.
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah. There's not a single one that you need a degree for. So, and also, I went to a private university, and fuck. You know how private schools, it's all just like the elites?
Yeah.
Private university is different, because they'll just take anyone.
Oh, fuck.
They'll take any fucking dickhead.
Okay, sick.
And now I have a $70,000 hex debt.
Fuck, man.
For a piece of paper that says, you can sing!
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Yeah. But anyway,
that's a bit
the point of that is I ended up starting a band with Sean Pryor, who you might know as the bassist of Deadlights.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we went to university together, and we started this band together called Judi Dench.
That's
right,
very
named after the actress. Yes.
So sick.
We'll get on to what the name change ended up being in a moment, but
sick.
Yeah, it was very much like, you know, Under Oath, Amity, Affliction, Worship, that sort of stuff. So it was like us, my friend Nate, a guy that we knew, James Bolton. You might have heard of him before.
Okay, I think so. Yeah.
And this other dude called James was on drums, and you know, we were okay. You know, we did a few shows.
Yeah.
You know, we got a little bit of a following online, and then we ended up kicking out the drummer.
Oh.
I won't go into the reasons.
Okay,
it's pretty dark. It's actually a pretty dark story.
Okay.
But we ended up getting Nick Osborne on drums.
Okay. Yeah, I know Nick. Yeah.
So and then Nick joined the band, and he said, "All right, I'll join, but we have to change the name. I'm not going to be in a band called Judi Dench."
That's so sick.
And so he ended up looking through, I think it was the Devil Wears Prada 818 album, or something like that. And we named the band First Sight.
Okay, yeah.
From there.
I was going to ask about First Sight, yeah.
Yeah, so Judi Dench became First Sight.
Yeah.
And First Sight was the first band that I had that did anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that did anything of worth, that got a following. We wrote what I still believe is the best song I've ever been a part of writing, Headlights.
Yeah.
It's a song which haunts me to this day.
Okay.
Because it sort of became a meme to yell, "Play Headlights" at me.
Oh.
To the point that I'll be on stage with Joy in Motion now, and motherfuckers will yell out, "Play Headlights."
Yeah, that's so funny.
The first time I played with Joy in Motion, fucking Jake, that dog, he hashtagged the photo, "Play Headlights,"
That's so
on our
funny.
goddamn Instagram.
That is so incredibly funny.
Oh, but it is a great song. I don't really like the lyrics anymore, but it is a great song.
Okay. Yeah.
I was never a good lyricist. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, First Sight was the first band that really did anything. It's the first band I toured in.
Cool.
It's the first band where we did, we supported like the Acacia Strain, Heights, Dream on Dreamer.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the first time I did shit like that.
Yeah.
And like, so, even though the band, never really truly took off, I'll always, have fond memories of my time in that band.
Fuck yeah.
Which is such a...
And from like seeing First Sight, like before I had gotten into the scene, you had done more than like most bands get the opportunity to do. So like, if that was the end, some people would be like more than happy to hang their hat on just that.
Yeah, look, I mean, the reason we broke up was because, we were losing relevance in the scene, and I was about to move to the States for a year. So we just figured, you know what, let's just rest on our laurels. Sean's just joined Deadlights, and let's face it, he's the best part of the band, so there's no point in continuing. So we played a couple of final shows. The final show we did was sick.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I sang a word of Headlights.
Oh,
like it was just one of those things where I just held the mic out.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Just going fucking. So like it was one of my first like rock star moments.
Yeah, sick.
That one right there. Then I moved to the States for a year. Came back 2017, and I started up another band with Nick Osborne.
Yeah.
Which ended up to go on to become Greywood.
Okay.
I left before then because Joy in Motion hit me up while we were still in the writing process of what became Greywood.
Yeah.
And I think he'd seen me play bass at a My Chemical Romance cover night.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't know I could play bass. And then he hit me up a couple weeks later and he said, "Hey man, do you like Never Shout Never?" And I was like, "They're all right." And he goes, "Do you want to play guitar for Joy in Motion for a show?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Fuck yeah."
That's sick.
So my first ever show with Joy in Motion was supporting Never Shout Never.
That's fucking so sick.
Yeah, so that was gnarly. And then after that show, their bassist at the time, Pat, he said, "Yeah, look, that was my last show with you guys." He's actually my roommate now.
Okay.
He's my roommate now.
Sick.
So yeah, but he said, "Yeah, look, guys, I'm leaving the band." I think he had some company that was starting to take off.
Okay,
so, yeah. And then they said to me, "Do you want to play bass? We've got this other girl, Jessie, who's gonna join us on guitar. But do you want to play bass?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, sure, fuck yeah."
Fuck yeah.
And I would have liked to have played guitar, but Jessie is a far better guitarist.
Yeah.
She fucking destroys me. She's a musician for a living as well.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fuck yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and like it's crazy to think about being in Joy in Motion because like we've had the chance to we played like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, fucking Dangerous Summer. We played like
Good Things,
festival.
Yeah.
The irony is like I spent years playing in hardcore and metal bands, and it took me playing in a pop band to play with my favorite band of all time.
Yeah. It's interesting how that works. Where like you leave what you're more passionate about to something that's a bit more commercially friendly, and it gets more attention quicker.
Yeah. I mean, solve that fucking mystery. I mean, it sounds like I sold out.
No.
I wouldn't say I sold out because I still love the music we make, even though it's commercial pop as fuck. I wouldn't be in this band if I didn't love it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's still sick stuff. Like the gateway between like everybody's first like beginning bands aren't too far removed from what Joy in Motion is. So Joy in Motion could easily be somebody's gateway band to get to a band like Parkway eventually.
Yeah.
Or they just stay in there. Like bands like Neck Deep are still sick. Story So Far still sick. State Champ still sick.
I mean, if I can get even a single 16-year-old girl into fucking Real Friends or some shit. Through playing bubblegum pop music.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff.
if I can be that bridge, I'll be a very happy man.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. We'll see. And then I remember when Joy in Motion started, like in the very beginning, and I think Dylan was playing guitar at the time.
Yes, Dylan was playing guitar
Yeah.
For Joy in Motion before I joined. he was like, you know, the guitarist for their first ever show.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
which I was there for. I was in the crowd.
Oh, sick.
I was at like a bunch of their first shows, and there's photos of me in like the crowd and stuff like that. And I remember when they supported Real Friends with, oh man, the biggest chip on my shoulder is that I joined them after
that.
they supported Real Friends, because like I've got a Real Friends tattoo, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Like I love that band.
Sick.
And but yeah, there's a photo of me in the crowd singing along to them, and every now and again Jake puts it up and says, "Fine, Josh," before he joined the band.
That's so sick.
So yeah, that's pretty fun.
Fuck yeah. So like, Joy Motion obviously still like doing stuff. How's it?
We're still doing
yeah,
stuff.
like obviously, but like, how's COVID?
Yeah, you
been?
fucking idiot.
No, man, no. But like, how's COVID like affected like your guys' progression? Because like just before COVID, there was like good things.
Yeah, this is this is just one of those things that is gonna. There's gonna be so many questions in my life that revolve around what if.
Yeah.
In regards to that, because leading up to COVID, we played Good Things Festival.
Yeah.
We supported Dangerous Summer.
Yeah.
We supported Hybrid Theory, which is a Portuguese Linkin Park tribute band.
Oh fuck yeah.
And we played to fucking 800 people at Eaton's Hill in February 2020.
Fuck.
And we were just like, holy shit. Like, we were about to go to Sydney.
Yeah.
Fucking play down there. We were just like, this is going to be our year. We're going to fucking take off.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the craziest fucking thing happened.
Yeah. Global pandemic.
But yeah, I think so. I think all of us are going to ask the question at some point, just like, what if that didn't happen?
Yeah.
What if, you know, we got to fucking keep playing, you know? Because, like, you know, actually both things I was doing, like, so I'm a comedian as well, like Marsho, right? And, you know, I was starting to do, you know, like half hours and stuff. I did my first headline gig up in Toowoomba, of all places, in February 2020. And, you know, like, that was such a crazy gig. I was only supposed to do like 30 minutes. I ended up doing like 40 just because I was having such fun with the crowd and stuff, just chatting shit. But then that all got put on hold, and, you know, I felt like, you know, I'm not sure if it's me or if it's the bookers or whatever it is, but I feel like my comedy career is going pretty stagnant at this point in time. So, I mean, I'm still gigging.
Yeah,
You know, I'm still, you know, I'm still driving to the Gold Coast like a fucking idiot every week for just to
it's kind of one of
just a bomb in front of 5 people.
It's kind of one of those things, just like playing in like bands and stuff. You've just got to like take the opportunities when you get them and do the best you can. But what was your transition from like music to comedy?
Okay, so I've always, you know, again, life story. I've always really loved comedy. You know, growing up, you know, I was, you know, okay, this is gonna sound bad now, but the thing that got me onto stand up was Dad bought a Bill Cosby CD.
Oh fuck! Bill Cosby as an entertainer, probably one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, say what you will, like, there was a reason he was considered like the greatest of all time.
He just happens to be a horrible person.
Yeah, it's just terrible.
Yeah.
And you know, and like that made me. I for the longest time, I just thought jokes were just like, "Why'd the chicken cross the road? Knock knock, who's there?"
Yeah.
That was the first time I heard bits.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Holy shit, this is cool!" And then Mum and Dad bought Leno and Woodley live DVD, and that was just like, "Oh my god, this is insane!"
Sick.
And so I was just. And then when I turned 17, that's when I really got into comedy.
Yeah.
But for a bad reason. I got into comedy. I lost my faith. I became an atheist.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I just really wanted to listen to all the edgy comedians, and like, you know, so I got into it through like Ricky Gervais and Jim Jeffries and stuff, and like I'd go on YouTube. Here's the kind of loser I was. I'd go on YouTube and look up offensive joke compilation and shit like that.
Good. Yeah, fuck yeah.
But yeah, then I started writing comedy when I was about 19, so 2013, and I'm thankful to God that I didn't try it for about 4 years, because none of that material made it. None of that material made it.
Yeah.
I think there's one joke that I kept from that time, and I tried it on stage 3 times, and then I scrapped it because I realized it wasn't really funny. It was just mean.
Oh,
it was basically just about. I think, if I remember correctly, the joke was I always find it weird anytime The Biggest Loser comes on and they do the first weigh-in and they're just like, and Shane weighs 200 kilos, and they're just like, why are you surprised? Your car naturally turns to the right. like so. And then I just kind of realized, oh, that's just kind of mean.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a little bit but it was like sort of the first time I realized I could write jokes. And then when I was in the States in 2016, I was drunk one night and I wrote a status that said, no matter what happens next year, I'm going to give stand-up comedy a go. And then I woke up in the morning, I'm like, oh, fuck. Too many people have liked it for me to not do it.
Yeah, sick. Fuck yeah. Well, at least you were willing to give it a try, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I never would have forgiven myself if I didn't try. And then had my first gig in July 2017 at this tiny little pub in Nunda in front of, like, 10 people. Now, like I said, I've literally played to thousands of people at this point. You know, like, I've been performing since I was about 12 years old, whether it was, you know, acting or fucking, you know, playing saxophone at School of Stedfords or whatever. I've been performing for a very, very long time to thousands of people. I've never felt more nervous in my life than standing in front of 10 people in Nunda. To tell my funny words to. Yeah,
because it's all you at that point, man. There's no instrument to hide behind or anything.
Yeah, all you fucking musicians you think you're brave, you hide behind some songs. Dorks.
Yeah. Say things and try to make them funny for a living. See how you turn out.
Yeah, try that. Like, the harshest part of comedy is that you get instant feedback.
Yeah.
You know if that shit is funny or not.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Fuck yeah, sick. Cool, and what are you finding like to be the biggest similarities between the two?
Man, I was thinking about this when I listened to Marsho's episode.
Okay.
He fucking hit the nail on the head. It's clicky as fuck.
Is it?
It is clicky as fuck. Like, there's not a single person I can think of that I dislike in the scene.
Okay, yeah.
But I think there's people who dislike me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sick.
But I do really love like doing comedy.
Yeah.
Like, in spite of that, you know, because like again, like Marsho said, I can go to a show any night of the week and at least a few of my friends will be there.
Yeah.
Like I'll know some people that I can catch up with and talk shit about. Talk shit with, not about. Yeah. Sometimes about.
Awesome, man. Fuck yeah. Well, this has been sick. I'm fucking chuffed with how this has gone.
Yeah, man. This is a fucking good episode. I think.
Pat yourself on the back. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, fucking you fucking legend.
Cool. Well, have you got any comedy dates coming up?
Not at the moment. Okay. I haven't really got anything to plug in terms of comedy gigs. All the gigs I'm doing at the moment are just like I'm writing.
Okay.
Still, you know what I mean? So like, I'm trying to write new material. So I try not to invite people to my workshopping gigs.
Yeah.
Which there are many.
Just invite them out when you're ready to crush.
Yeah, exactly. If I think I'm going to crush a set, then I'll, you know, invite some people. Or if there's, you know, stuff that I think that I've worked on enough and I'm ready to show people I care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fuck yeah. See.
Yeah.
Cool. And
you know, if I bomb in front of strangers, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Who cares about you? I didn't know you 2 minutes ago, and you're probably not going to remember me.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's sick. Fuck yeah. Cool. Well, do you want to get into your top 5 favorite bands and we'll shut it down?
All right. Top 5 favorite bands. First of all, shout outs to My Chemical Romance, Real Friends, anything Frank Carter's ever been involved in.
Fuck yeah.
And Blink-182. Just shout outs to those ones.
So they're honorable mentions?
They're all honorable mentions.
Fuck yeah, sick.
And Dropkick Murphys.
Fuck well. Yeah. Sick.
I fucking love the Dropkick Murphys. Okay, I think this is the definitive top 5. I only really have a top 2.
Okay. And
everything else is fairly interchangeable, but I think these are the ones I'm like listening most at the moment.
Sick.
One more shout out to Nerve. I fucking love Nerve.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, he's probably my most listened to artist this year. But okay, so number 5, I'd say the Gaslight Anthem.
Okay.
I fucking love the Gaslight Anthem. Have you listened to them before?
I think like maybe once or twice when I was going through my downloading as much music as humanly possible phase.
Yeah, they're just such a great fucking like just twangy Telecaster Americana storytelling.
Sick.
Just the 59 Sound is one of the best albums of all time.
Okay, fuck yeah, I'll check it out.
It's easily in my top 10.
Fuck yeah, sick.
Next after that, I'd probably have to say The Ghost Inside.
Oh, yes.
I love The Ghost Inside.
Best.
That live album they dropped this year is
Yes.
so good.
So fucking
I've got
good.
I've actually got a Ghost Inside tattoo.
Same.
Boom, right there.
Fuck yeah. Sick.
Based on the song 33, says when the record comes to an end, I'll sing it all over again.
Fuck yeah. I
saw them.
I got mine as well. Fucking.
Oh, shit, you got the logo behind you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's killer, brother.
Yeah.
The big one, I remember I went to Soundwave 2014,
Yeah.
and I went to their signing, and this was half finished when I went there.
Yeah.
And so I showed them the tattoo.
Fuck yeah.
And a couple of the guys started to fill it in with like texture.
That's sick.
And I almost said to myself, like, oh, maybe I should just go to the tattoo artist
Yeah,
and get
just
those
get
parts
that.
filled in. And then I realized that would have been so
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
So,
I think I was at that
the Ghost-
Soundwave as well and watched The Ghost Inside.
oh, dude, they were
Yeah.
so good,
It was
man.
sick. It was,
like,
was it when they
was-
played just before Dream on Dreamer?
I've got no idea. All I know is that they clash with Green Day. So I watched
Yes.
the first song of Green Day, ran over to Ghost
Yeah.
Inside, then ran back for the rest of Green Day.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I was at that. I watched Dream on Dreamer. I got punched in the back in Dream on
Yeah.
Dreamer. Then watched Ghost Inside and then watched Motionless in White. It was so fun.
Oh man, I fucking tell you what, yo, you've just paused. All right, hopefully we come back. There we go. Sorry, you just like,
froze.
yeah, we just froze. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, this will be fun for the recording.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. So. Oh yeah, I was gonna say fucking Soundwave 2014. In my opinion, I remember Soundwave 2013 was like the big one.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like Metallica, Linkin Park, and Blink 182.
Yeah, yeah.
2014 was my favorite.
It was the best one.
I think that was the best one. Yeah, you
Yeah.
agree? Fuck yes.
Yeah. It was so
Okay,
good.
so
It
I
was
knew
like,
you were a reasonable man when
yeah.
I met you.
Yeah. It was like him's last Australian show as well. And like Rob Zombie played.
Dude,
Fucking so sick.
I think I drank half a bottle of vodka and Red Bull before going there at like 8 in the morning.
Oh, sick.
And the first band I saw was a Monomath.
Oh,
And,
yes.
They were so good. And I was crowd surfing, and they were playing Twilight of the Thunder God, closing
Oh,
with that.
fuck yeah.
And the thing about Twilight of the Thunder God is that the intro sounds very similar to Valhalla Awaits Me.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
it's got the like that rhythm at the start, and
Just
so I
like
started singing
Viking
along to
metal.
Valhalla Waits Me instead of Twilight
Just
of the
like
Thunder.
wrecked. That's so sick.
Yeah. Number 3, I would have to say Frank Turner. Frank Turner
Okay.
is a god in my opinion. He
Sick.
is literally my favorite musician. I think
Okay, fuck
he's
yeah.
just perfect folk punk, sort of like just a British guy who's just yelling in your face about
Yeah,
you know
fuck yeah.
just getting drunk and partying and heartbreak and stuff like England. I've got a little piece of art up in the corner there
Okay.
of England Keep My Bones. That was made by Ryan Sim, who you might know as a former member of Fire of Waco and the Gift
Okay.
Horse.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, so he
Sick.
does really good art. I'm pretty sure he was in the band when Luke Gallows was in the band as well.
Okay,
so,
fuck yeah. Gift
yeah.
Horse is like fucking so sick.
Yeah, I think you said they were the best in Brisbane or some shit.
I stand by that hard
Yeah.
as fuck. Like, the Royal Oak Hotel, in my opinion, is probably one of the best songs ever written.
I'll be honest, I actually haven't listened to them, so
Oh,
I might
it's
need
so
to get.
fucking good.
I'm gonna need to get behind them, eh?
Yeah, they're fucking sick.
Number 2. This is a fairly recent one for me in the number 2 spot, but Linkin Park.
Okay.
Linkin Park are my number 2 band. You know, I got into Linkin Park in March 2017 because some of my friends were doing a Linkin Park tribute show,
Yeah.
and they needed someone to rap, and they knew I like rap music, and they
Yeah.
said, "Hey, come and do this," and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I ended
Fuck
up just
yeah.
falling in love with like Hybrid Theory and Meteora and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Great
Like
albums.
I would say that even though Linkin Park aren't my favorite band, Hybrid Theory is probably my number 1 album of all time.
Okay. Fuck.
And but yeah, obviously Chester died
Yeah.
a few months later. God rest his soul. And ironically, that caused me to play the best show I've ever played in my fucking life because we all got together again to put on a tribute show for him.
Okay.
And
Was that the Phoenix?
Crowbar.
Oh, the Crowbar one? Okay.
yeah. So we played at Crowbar and we sold that bitch out.
Fuck yeah, sick.
That was one of the most insane, crazy shows of my goddamn life.
Fuck yeah.
you know, I didn't have to sing if I didn't want to. I could just do that
Yeah.
business, you know, hold it out to the crowd. I'll tell you this much: during the set, there was this drunk girl at the front of the stage, and you know, I'm standing on the fucking, you know, the monitors and shit, and
Yeah.
she just starts to grab my junk.
Oh.
And I start,
Okay.
and I'm like, what the fuck? And so I swat it away because I just think to myself, it's probably nothing. Then it happens again.
Oh,
The
no,
hand goes
she's
on the
getting
junk
after
again,
it.
and I'm like, okay, swat it away again. A couple minutes later, happens again. I'm like, okay, this isn't an accident anymore. and I mean, I wish I'd said something and called it out, but then my all the toxic masculinity in my mind was just saying, you should love this, bro. You should love this. But I was incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Sweet irony though. I after the show, I go down to the bar and you know I'm having a drink, and that girl comes along and she's brought her friend with her. Now I thought I recognized the friend. Turns out I'd matched with that friend on Tinder about a month ago, about a month earlier. And long story short, I end up going home with that friend. So I think
not the girl that.
that was grabbing my. So
Yeah.
you want to know what the moral of this story is? Consent is sexy.
Yeah.
I think that's the takeaway of it. But yeah, Lincoln. That's a very long way of saying Lincoln Park. And number one of all time, it's got to be Parkway Drive, man. It's got to be Parkway.
Fuck yeah.
Like they have influenced me in ways I can't begin to say. Like the first show I ever went to in my life was June 2008. Parkway Drive, Have Heart, Break Even, and Antagonist at the Princess Theatre. And the reason I love that, it's a bit of a flex, right? Because the tour after that was Sweatfest, and that's the one where they played at River Stage, and that's the one that everyone saw them for the first time. You know, like that's where all the normies saw them the first time.
Yeah.
But I got in one earlier at a place with no barricade, with the stage dive and shit. You know, 14-year-old me losing my fucking mind.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's
And
so sick.
I didn't realize how significant that would have been, you know, as a show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Parkway Drive, they're just like such a great band. I've got to tell you a story of backstage at Good Things now. I see Winston, and I managed to get a photo with him, and like that's all good, right? You know, he's just a lovely bloke. You know, he owes nothing to anyone.
Yeah, salt of the earth.
Yeah, you know, he was getting fucking food, and I interrupted him for a fucking photo like a goddamn idiot. And he still did it. Fucking God bless him. And and then later on, I see Jeff, Luke, and Ben all sitting down eating their lunch, and I go up to them and I say, "Hey guys, do you mind if I get a photo with you guys?" And they just kind of look up and they just go like, "Do you mind if we finish eating first?" And then I'm just like, oh, okay. And I just kind of walk away, just feeling like a piece of shit. Later on, I go bump into their photographer, Third Eye Visuals. You know that guy?
Okay,
Yeah. I was in a band with him very briefly back in the day.
sick.
I was only in the band for like a month, so that's why I didn't mention it earlier. So I know the guy pretty well, and I said to him, "Man, I just fucked up in front of Parkway," and he's like, "What did you do?" And I told him, and he's like, "Dude, that happens to them like 10 times a day. They're not even going to remember you, bro." And I'm like, "All right, that makes me feel better."
Sick.
But yeah, like, you know, I've been listening since Killing with a Smile since I was about, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And, they're just consistently amazing. I love all their albums. Aya, in my opinion, is just metalcore perfection.
Sick.
And like even more so than Horizons, in my opinion.
Really?
Horizons isn't even. I don't even think that's in my top 3 of their albums. I think it goes Aya, Kawas, Deep Blue, Horizons, Reverence, Atlas.
Really?
I think that's my order. Yeah.
Whoa, crazy. That's insane.
You want to know what's even crazier? For a while there, Horizons was down the bottom.
Really? Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
You want to know what it is? It's Killing with a Smile Part 2. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love it. It's probably in my top 50 albums of all time. All their albums are in my top 50. But it is just Killing with a Smile Part 2.
Yeah.
All the other albums have something new that they brought to the table. Like they didn't do the Amity Affliction. Amity Affliction found a theme and rolled with it.
Yeah.
And
ran
whereas
into the
Parkway,
ground.
yeah, exactly. Whereas Parkway have gone fucking crazy, done weird shit,
Yeah.
and that's why they'll always have my respect as the greatest Australian band over Amity.
Probably the most influential Australian
Absolutely,
band to
absolutely.
like the modern metal in Australia.
I remember watching the. Have you watched Viva the Underdogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to see that in cinemas, and just realizing, it's not even a question anymore about whether or not Parkway Drive are the best band in Australia. They are.
Yeah.
They're the best band currently going.
Yeah.
I reckon 10 more years they'll be in the conversation of who's the best metal band in the world.
Yeah.
And then, if they keep going after that, they could potentially even be in the conversation of who's the best band that's ever existed. Well, actually, I don't think that's. I think the best band that's ever. Yeah, the best band that's ever existed. Let's be honest. Let's not split hairs. It's the Beatles. The Beatles were the best band that ever existed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I reckon Parkway Drive are going to start giving a lot of bands like, say Metallica, Iron Maiden, AC/DC a run for their money.
Well, I think they're like, as much as like it should be like that early 2000s like US metalcore, a lot of those bands aren't around anymore, and Parkway is the only band that's like still consistently slogged it out to the point where they're a festival headliner now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're doing shit like Walk, and like, I don't think that they could support any band in Australia. If even if like say Bring Me the Horizon came along and they said, "Hey, Parkway, do you want to support?" I feel like they'd say no.
No, if anything,
even though
Parkway would be bringing Bring Me the Horizon to Australia.
I'd probably argue at this point that Bring Me are a bit bigger than Parkway worldwide.
The US market for sure.
Yeah. But I just don't think that they can support anyone anymore.
No. Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, they're definitely up there with like the biggest current bands.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, no one can argue that at all.
No, for sure.
I think that sort of comes back around to what we were saying earlier. No one can argue that AC/DC are one of the best bands of all time. No one can argue that Nas, Illmatic is one of the best hip-hop albums of all time. No one can argue Parkway Drive, one of the biggest metal bands.
Yeah. See, as much as AC/DC is not my vibe at all, but I know what you mean. Like, they are like a hugely influential rock band along pop culture.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And, like, I wouldn't say I'm huge into AC/DC anymore, but they're still fun. I went and saw them a couple of years ago. That was so good.
How was that?
That was awesome. 2015, they played at Cusack.
Okay, fuck yeah.
And, I just had a great time. I went with my brothers and my dad, and it's just a good bonding moment between us all. You want to know something sad related to COVID? Speaking of my brothers and my dad.
Okay, sure.
On my birthday last year, we had tickets to go see Iron Maiden.
Oh, fuck.
Iron Maiden with Kill Switch. And it was going to be on my birthday.
Fuck, that's
on
so
my
sick.
fucking birthday. And my brother had flights from the Northern Territory to come down.
Yeah.
And then it got cancelled.
Shut it down.
Oh, it sucks, man. I love Iron Maiden. They're so good.
I haven't like experienced too much Iron Maiden. I think like in my age 13 Avenged Sevenfold phase, I listened to like their cover of an Iron Maiden song.
Yeah. If you really want to get a great vibe of what Iron Maiden is like, look up Iron Maiden, The Klansman live at Rock in Rio.
Okay.
That's the first time I heard them, and there's no point in listening to the recorded version of that song.
Fuck yeah.
When
Sick.
that version exists.
Cool. I'll check it out after this.
Yeah, check that out. That's a recommendation to everyone who's listening to this.
Check out Iron Maiden.
Yes.
Yeah. Sick, man. Well,
in case you didn't know who Iron Maiden
yeah.
like one of the biggest bands that's ever existed needs my fucking help.
They're like, thanks for the plug, bro.
I expect a written letter from Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah. I know
all the fucking
his
marketing
name.
I did for your goddamn band, you fucking poser.
Yeah. Sick, man. Well, do you want to hit your socials and socials for Joy in Motion, and we'll just shut it down?
Yeah, fuck. I gotta remember what the Joy in Motion fucking socials are. But you can find me on Instagram at Joshua Morshua. That's spelled JAWSHUA. MAWSHUA. I think that came from like a series of in-jokes when I first started going to hardcore shows.
Okay.
Just I think it's saying Joshua Moshua, but said like Husey. Joshua.
Fuck, I hate Husey so much.
But yeah, if you want to check out Joy in Motion, you can go to Joy in Motion Music on Instagram. You can check us out on Spotify, all that sort of shit.
Wherever you
Facebook.
can get it.
We're going to be playing at Polar Fest on the 10th of October at the Brightside, which is going to be a sick show. I'm so excited for that one.
Stacked.
Dude, that lineup is crazy.
Yeah,
They got rid of Take Us to Vegas, unfortunately, but they replaced them with Semantics. And I froth Semantics, dude.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Other than that, so just, follow me on Insta. I'll generally, sometimes I'll post, if I'm doing comedy gigs or shit like that. I should probably, I recorded an episode of a podcast that I'm starting back in the last lockdown. But I just haven't gotten around to editing it and releasing it. It's called Broken Record. It's about bands that have risky, controversial, or just straight up shit albums.
Okay, fuck yeah.
And so for example, the first episode we talked about the Linkin Park Jay-Z collaboration EP, which is a great EP, but when it came out, it was trashed by the reviewers. So. That's what that is. I should fucking get you on that at some point.
I'd love
actually.
to do one. That'd be sick.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm doing Gold Cobra with someone else. Which is a terrible
pile of shit.
Yeah, and then I think I'm doing Machine Gun Kelly's last album as well. So just to give you a full scope of the sort of albums, it's not just bad albums. Yeah. But cool, so that's what I've sort of got going on. Now that I've plugged it on a different podcast, I should actually get around to editing and releasing it. So
fuck yeah, definitely.
All right, sweet as. I think that's everything I need to plug.
Cool, man. Sick. Thanks for doing the podcast.
It's all good, my man. I had a fucking blast, brother.
Awesome. Done. Another week. Done. Huge thanks to Josh for doing the podcast and for reaching out to be on. I'm super stoked with this episode. Came out really well. If you're watching this on YouTube, and that's how you normally watch this, there's no video this week. This was a Zoom one, but we didn't do a video. We did do a video, but in it, my connection drops out. So it was hard enough lining up the two separate audio tracks in the back end of the podcast where it drops out. So I can only imagine the video would be a fucking nightmare. I didn't even attempt it. I probably should. If I do, I'll upload it, but if not, then I won't. But yeah, check out everything he's doing. Check out Joy in Motion. Their EP Stardust is fucking sick. If he drops his podcast eventually, I would fucking love to do an episode because I've got a fuckload of opinions that nobody gives a fuck about. And you can check out Joy in Motion the 10th of October on Polar Fest. Is a fucking sick lineup. Young Lions, Semantics, Apartheid, Joy in Motion, and my fucking boys in Virtues. Super strong lineup. Fucking support local music. Get out there, get the fucking shows while we can. And go listen to Headlights by First Sight. It's actually a fucking sick song. And I remember when I was starting my last band, Either Divide, one of the first drummers we sort of tried to get on board was Nick Osborne, and he used to play drums in that band. And that was one of the songs he showed us to be oh, this is my stuff. And then this is what I played drums on, and it was fucking sick. So I remember it from then, and I hadn't listened to it in fucking 6 years at this point. So I listened to it again. It was fucking sick. And if you like what I'm doing over here with the podcast, share it, tell a friend, subscribe on YouTube, follow it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Podbean, wherever the fuck you listen to podcasts. And check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Heavy Sweater Podcast. And if at all you want to listen to my band Shokan, we have a song called Rat Fucked. It's out fucking everywhere. We're putting out some more stuff soon. Some really cool shit. Some better songs. Because I've been working really hard. So come back next week on the Heavy Sweater Podcast for a new fucking episode. The rest of my week now is recording podcasts. So thanks. Come back next week.